So if there was a fascist government tomorrow, then there's a lot of warning signs that we learn about. So for example, there's like no individual rights, and so that means like um, the like you have one person has to sacrifice their individual rights um, for the group, and there's a lot of really strict classes. So like what we saw in communism that there's no classes, but here there's like strict like the wealthy and the poor, the fascists and the anti-fascists. And then what might also happen is like we saw with the German fascism is Nazism, and they hate a certain kind of people because they're really big nationalists. So they had like a big massacre of anyone who wasn't like blonde hair, blue eyes. So if there were any like foreigners in Korea, there might be a big massacre for that, and that would be like really bad. But that might be one of the that might be one of the characteristics of our country if we became fascist, and we would have a really big dictator. And like here today, we have like a government, and we have a lot of different government branches. But like Mussolini or Hitler, like we might have like Lee Myung-bak as like just controlling everything. And then we would also see that there would be a loss of art, and Korea does have like really good traditional art pieces, but those might be considered like useless or like not contributing anything to the society, and people would have to start focusing on propaganda posters and things that would actually show that fascism is a good thing. And then we also see like the other countries might actually not help us, because we saw when like Japan started taking over Manchuria, and Germany took over Poland and a lot of other countries, like US or other superpowers, they didn't do anything to stop us. But like considering that we have evolved a lot, like we have like United Nations now, and we have a lot of other countries that actually are willing to support us, that might be something different from like fascism from before. And instead of having a large working class, we would have like people like in the working class who had an appeal to fascism. They were thinking like, oh, as long as I have a job, or someone who like pays me, and someone who, as long as like I have someone to go, like a house to go home to, like they don't care like the kind of government they have. And that's why fascism really worked. And like because a lot of people assume that people working class would actually support communism and not fascism, because they think like, oh, I want a lot of power, and working class needs to be represented as well, as much as the rich people. But then we see that working class actually doesn't care about that. They actually just want a good paying job. So good paying job with working class dictatorialism, and those are the characteristics. Okay, thank you.